Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and my 7-year-old is getting very excited about Christmas now. I was talking to him about this morning how we were about 3 days away from Christmas Eve, and this kid is about to jump out of his skin. He's extremely excited. I guess I'm excited for him, but the Christmas stuff can be as stressful as it is exciting for adults. This was the article that everybody was talking about over the last 2 days. This is what Ripple had put out. 2020, the year of the digital asset is what they called it. And I don't know if it's just you, but when I was putting all of the news together from the last day this morning, what I found is that the 2020 seems to be a drumbeat, not just from Ripple, but industry wide. And we're starting to see, I showed you yesterday that Ripple, CNBC ran an article about Ripple. And then later in the day, they started doing shows and talking about Ripple. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. But you also have other major financial news media starting to talk about 2020 and what's coming as well. And I'm going to show you one right now. This is from SFODA. He's the official, I think it's Sinecure and Green Beret to the Digital Asset Investor channel. For those of you that don't remember, a Sinecure is someone who has no responsibilities at all. And he said that's why he wanted that title. But he went out of his way, and I think as a Green Beret, he sent me this next piece because a Sinecure doesn't do anything. He sent me this, and this is from Yahoo Finance. Heard of Bitcoin's halving? It's set to shake crypto markets in 2020. So there's a theme going on already, but listen to this. If you're not a Bitcoin enthusiast, you probably haven't heard of what's happening next year. It's called the halving. And it will cut production of the cryptocurrency by 50%. No one's in control of this process. It's a rule written into Bitcoin's underlying code by its pseudonymous creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, more than a decade ago. The event, expected in May 2020, slashes by half the number of new coins awarded to Bitcoin miners who provide global supply of the cryptocurrency by solving complex math puzzles. That is a big change in a market worth about 120 billion, where Bitcoin worth several billions of dollars are created each year. This is the important part. Players in the know are preparing for the sharp price gains and volatility that have accompanied previous halvings, which happen roughly every 4 years and act to both ensure the scarcity of Bitcoin and keep a cap on price inflation. So you can see how things are forming up. Ripple, remember, Brad Garlinghouse yesterday said that, I think he said 20 major banks would be holding, and which means they'll be selling digital assets, which means major liquidity, folks. So the halving, there are so many other things. We've got a global financial storm, and Ethan Beard in that Insights article said that he believes that you could see a flight to crypto as a safe haven because of global financial crisis. So you can see it all happening. All right, then Michael at VAL5 Links sent me this. And there's all kinds of cool tweets today, things that were written that came out of things from the Ripple announcements and all of that, as well as reaction and different things. This is from Mac Attack XRP. Let me see if I follow them. Ripple's transaction volume will rise by over 600% in 2020, Brad Garlinghouse. Within 3 months, Ripple's net worth surged by $5 billion. Brad Garlinghouse has said the volume of Ripple's network will surge massively next year to a tune of 600%. That's unbelievable. Then Michael Arrington weighed in about the Ripple announcement, about the investment of $200 million in Ripple. And he says, If you're perplexed as to why investors would aggressively invest in Ripple at a $10 billion valuation, the problem may be you. Or you could just keep believing you're so smart and they're so dumb. And this is kind of the theme of what I've talked about since I discovered Ripple in 2013, is that here you've got this company that is creating use cases for XRP. And the company is being run by some of the smartest people in the world and some of the most connected people in the world. And what he's saying here is you can just keep believing you're smart or they're so dumb. What kind of a moron would look at who is behind Ripple and who they're connected to and the things we've shown you over the last 2 years and not say to themselves, whoa, something's happening here. And yesterday, when they got that $10 billion valuation in front of everyone, that was just talk about validation of what we all know and have been saying behind the scenes. Now, then there's this. We've got Bob Ross from Coinfield and Sologenic. He's coming in to congratulate Brad Garlinghouse. Great news, Brad. 2020 already looks very promising. Use cases already there. I believe the key is to focus on the mass adoption of XRP and increase its global reach in 2020. The whole community has been anxiously waiting and seems like it's happening now. You're darn right, it's happening now. Okay, this is from the crypto utility guy at Utility Guy 7. Sent me this. So you can see this is further things that are happening. We're seeing central banks that are trying to create their own digital assets. Now we've got a group of countries at a summit attended by leaders of Muslim countries, including Malaysia, Turkey, Iran, Qatar, Indonesia. The Iranian president proposed creating a Muslim cryptocurrency to cut reliance on the U.S. dollar. The Malaysian prime minister supports the idea of a unified cryptocurrency for Muslim countries. So you see what's forming up. We're going, like we've said for a long time, you're going to have all of these walled gardens. Everybody's going to have digital assets. There's one digital asset that's the greatest ever created, and it's called XRP, and it's going to bridge many of those walled gardens. Okay. Then there's this. The CNBC Fast Money they talked about Ripple and this $10 billion valuation yesterday. Ripple making a splash with its valuation hitting $10 billion today. Here, what our traders see ahead for the cryptocurrency exchange. I don't know why they're calling it the cryptocurrency exchange, because Ripple's not a cryptocurrency exchange. But the point is that these guys talked about it and they're all head scratching. They just can't quite understand it. XRP Crypto Wolf had tweeted about this and how they were morons. He says the people at CNBC are morons since Ripple is worth way more than $10 billion because of its huge potential. So for them to question a valuation just shows that they haven't done any research on Ripple and XRP. Ripple's going to be worth hundreds of billions one day, no doubt, and probably trillions. So I came in and I said, remember, these guys are like naysayers as usual. Remember, these are the same people that think the government running this Ponzi scheme is completely legit and has merit. They hang with bated breath on every word said by the Fed when anyone with common sense can see the house of cards it is. And what I'm talking about the house of cards, these same guys that don't understand the Ripple valuation, they think that it's perfectly okay for this to be the U.S. national debt. And every time the Federal Reserve or the Treasury, any of these officials come out, these guys are just, all on board with that. That all makes sense to them. The idea of printing money into oblivion and putting us in a debt situation that cannot be gotten out of, that's okay. That's normal. That's normal finance to these guys. Not to those of us that want to take care of our families and work hard and save our money. That's a pile of garbage to us. Now, this is from ECOSSEXRP1. The elite are in position. And this is a tweet. 8 members of the United States Congress sent a letter to the Internal Revenue Service urging the agency to provide additional clarity on cryptocurrency tax laws. Now, let me tell you what, let's read between the lines here what this is. What this is wealthy people who control these Congress people that are going to them and saying, look, there's a ton of money to be made in this digital asset space, and you guys have to put the pressure on the IRS to get all this straight so that we can begin being comfortable moving forward and make the money that we are wanting to make, that we're dying to make. That's what this is about. So they're applying the pressure to the IRS to get their act together and get some clear guidelines. I love it. Meanwhile, Jonathan D at XRP_YD7 sent me this from Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase. This is more 2020, folks. So what's coming? The forces that have held the current fiat system together now look fragile, and they could unravel in the 2020s. If so, that will start to lead it to a backlash against fiat money, and demand for alternative currencies, such as gold or crypto, could soar. You're darn right they could soar. Now, he also sent me this. This is from Pantera Capital. Remember, Pantera Capital is a hedge fund, and they are also, it's run by Dan Moorhead. They are also early investors in Ripple. Congrats on this latest round. So you better believe they're congratulating them. They know where this is going. And then Dilip Rao, who is retiring, came in and said market validation for Ripple mission and Internet of Value. And he, remember, is retiring. And we are now going to show you Dilip Rao in retirement. But first, Chini Patel at Chini Patel 29. Here it is. This is how the legend retired. We will miss you at Ripple, Dilip Rao. How cool does that look? I'm going to put an XRP right here, and I'm going to use that as a thumbnail. And then I saw this last night. David Schwartz is apparently at a basketball game, and he's got his In Brad We Trust socks on. That's from the Crypto Man. And finally, I wanted to tell you all, you've got to hear this. Yesterday in my Patreon group with Brad Combs and with Mr. B, we interviewed the CEO of Celsius Network, Alex Mashinsky. This guy is uber impressive. This guy is very smart. You would not believe, and I literally started the interview. What his company does is they pay you interest on your XRP and other crypto holdings, and they also lend money on your crypto. You all might probably know I have never taken part in any of these platforms that pay interest. At the beginning of the interview, and you can see the interview through the Patreon group. We did a live stream yesterday at noon, and it's now a pre-recorded interview that's in the Patreon. It's a must-see interview. But at the beginning of the interview, I told Alex Mashinsky that my father had listened to him and told me how impressive he was, but I was not sold on the idea of putting my crypto onto a platform like Celsius and being paid interest. It made me nervous. By the end of the interview, I told him to sell me. By the end of the interview, I downloaded the Celsius app, and I now have some, not all, but have some of my XRP on Celsius. It is the coolest thing I've seen. Now, I wanted to show you a screenshot. This is a screenshot of us interviewing. The interview was phenomenal. It went 10 times better than I expected. And you can actually hear me. My sound's great and everything. But this guy was so impressive. And I just want to show you this. This is from his website. He's got an interest calculator. And you can actually type in hypotheticals. And you can say, okay, this is for a year. Or this is a year right here. On 50,000 XRP, I would earn, and you can choose also, you can be paid in XRP, or you can be paid a higher interest rate in their Celsius token. And then he also went through their lending platform where they will loan you money against your digital assets. It is definitely, I highly recommend anybody who's not a Patreon already, go and join. It's in the description of all of my videos, or you can just go to digitalassetinsiders.com and join. It is awesome. And finally, I wanted to make sure that you're all aware of this. The Ledger Nano S is in the description of all of my videos as well. They're having a Christmas deal. They're having normally for $178, you can get a Ledger Nano X and a Ledger Nano S, but now you can get them for $119. So this deal is still going. This is also in the description of all of my videos. Go check it out. But don't forget to go watch that. Go join our Patreon group and watch that Alex Mashinsky. It is worth learning how you can earn money on your XRP. It's well worth going and doing that. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family they've got to hear this interview with Alex Mashinsky. Thanks for listening.